Testing, test. Okay, I can hear. I can hear. Okay. Hey guys, how are you? Where's my this one? Let's clear off the energy. Making sure energy is clear. Nothing negative, even though there's nothing negative here. Instead, try this technique from the mind science pioneer Jose Silva. You see, all right. Think something else. I need some different kind of energy or sound, rather. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put this here. Hopefully this incense won't choke me. Hi there. Welcome, welcome. Glad you guys could be here. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing a chakra messages. So we'll see what comes through, and we'll look at what chakra you might need to focus on right now. Hi Benji, how are you? So we'll see what messages come out. Sometimes there's a personal message for you. So if you want to hang out, you might receive a personal message. But if you go to my description and you want a mini read while I'm on the live, it's $18. Or if you want to just book a private session with me, you can do that as well. And we can schedule a time that works for both of us. Hi Gray, how are you? Welcome. So I just want to do some Reiki healing right now, just some energy clearing before I get started. So I hope you find this relaxing. Hopefully you also had a wonderful, peaceful Thanksgiving. I know I did. Drama free. So Okay. All right, guys, let's see what messages Spirit has for you. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I was having some issues with my mic. Okay. I think I can hear you. Oh yeah, definitely can hear you. Okay. Let's see what comes through. At the bottom of the deck, I have the throat chakra. So right away, that is coming through. The throat chakra lies right here in your throat area. And it is the 5th chakra, which is connected to our willpower, our ability to make decisions, speak our mind, express ourselves. And in this case, it feels like someone here might be stuck in the past. You might be stuck in the past. You could be stuck in the past. The throat chakra is your center for struggle and choice, and your ability to release your will to divine guidance. So you know how sometimes like something might happen to us, like let's say all of a sudden your partner wants to break up with you and you're just like scrambling to try to save the relationship, right? So that's the prime example of a situation where you probably just need to allow yourself to surrender to the situation and just let divine will take over and guide you on what to do. Every choice, thought, and feeling has a biological, environmental, social, personal, and global consequence. So actions motivated by personal will that trust divine authority give you the richest power. It gives you the best outcome. You always have the best outcome. Hi, Sunsis, sorry. So yes, with the throat chakra, when you surrender your will to divine will and you just let God or the universe take over for you, you will always end up in a better place than where you were. When you try to interfere with your destiny, that's when things kind of get messed up, and there's consequences for that. So it's always best to just let things unfold however they're going to unfold. Laws of attraction. So what's important here is that you're focused on something from the past. And if you continue to focus on whatever it is from the past, that's the experience that you're going to attract. That's what you're going to attract. You're not going to attract anything different. You're going to attract the same thing over and over again until you learn the lesson. So important that you understand, you know, learn the lesson and understand. Try to heal from whatever that situation is from the past so that you can have a different outcome the next time. Because if you don't try to heal from it, it's going to repeat itself. It could be a new person you're dealing with, and you're going to go through the same thing with that person. So you have to disconnect, cancel out, disconnect, clear your energy of whatever this is from the past that is in your way. Also, you have a spirit animal that is coming through here to help you to kind of push through. This animal spirit guide is trying to help you with this situation. So it's almost like there to protect you, to guide you through it, to give you strength to get through it, to charge through it, right? Understand what happened, forgive, so that you can move on. Because without forgiveness, it's going to be hard for you to move on. So let's do that. Also, you would benefit from taking time out to meditate and connect with your ascending masters, whoever your ascending masters are. It could be Jesus, it could be Yogananda, it could be Kali, it could be Lakshmi, whomever, it could be Buddha, whomever it is that you are mostly like connected to or resonate with is who you need to spend time connecting and meditating and asking that ascending master for support in this situation to guide you through it. So yeah, so you know, whoever it is, I personally love having a conversation with Jesus, God. That's who I usually go to. And I've developed a good relationship. I hear, I follow. I've learned to surrender my personal will. I've stopped trying to work things out that were not workable, work-outable. And then I've learned to just step back and allow the universe to kind of, you know, take over. Or divine guidance take over. Because that's the key here, letting divine guidance take over. Now, let me share with you some of the issues with the throat chakra, right? And we'll get into specifics with this specific situation, but just in general, some of the issues that you could be dealing with the throat chakra are choice and strength of will. So you could be in a situation right now where you're struggling to make a choice. You're scared to make the choice. You don't know what's going to happen if you make a choice. You're kind of scared because you don't know what's there, what could happen. Personal expression, maybe you're scared to speak up and you've just shut down and you're not going to talk. That could be another thing, right? You're afraid to speak up and voice how you feel for fear of conflict, so you don't say anything at all. Following your dreams could be another one. You know, what are you doing something that makes you happy, or did you sacrifice following your dreams to do something that was just logical, right? Using your personal power to create. So, and creating anything is like planting a seed, nurturing it, and then watching it bloom, right? It shows the magic, the power that you have to nurture something, to create, create something and watch it grow into something much bigger. Um, Addiction could be another, throat chakra, right? So anything with the mouth, could be drinking, could be eating, could be substance abuse, taking pills, smoking. Those could be issues you struggle with. Judgment is another one. Maybe you judge other people too much, or you feel like you're always being judged by others. Criticism, again, you could be criticizing other people, or people could be criticizing you, and you know you you don't like that. No one does. You could struggle having faith if you are struggling with making a decision. Very strong internal critic. Okay. Yes, that could be another thing, right? It could be internal, that you judge yourself or you criticize yourself, and you're always saying things to yourself, negative things to yourself. You don't like the way you look, you don't like your weight, you don't like, your hair, you don't like how you look in this outfit. It could be anything, right? Or anything, but just criticizing, judging yourself. That could be another one. Faith, having faith. So if you're struggling with a situation, like you're in a bad relationship, you should leave. Or say you're working a very toxic job and you're just not happy, and you're experiencing anxiety every single day that you're going to that job. You're not sleeping at night, you're not eating well. That could be like having faith in yourself that you will do better if you just walk away, right? Any knowledge, just struggling with, understanding things, the capacity to make decisions. Struggling to make a decision is a big one, because sometimes we don't make a decision because we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't trust that we're going to end up in a better place. But I can tell you from my own experience, there's been a couple of times where I have to walk away from a bad relationship or bad job, and I didn't have a backup. But I always ended up in a better place when I did. When I felt strongly like it was the right time for me to walk away. Whew, scary, very scary, especially when you don't have a safety net, right? You don't have a partner, you don't have parents that you can rely on, you don't have a lot of money in your savings. It's scary to make a decision and keep going. But let me tell you, one time I was really down on my luck, like really, really in a bad place. And I was in a really bad relationship, and towards the end of that relationship, I hated that person. I really hated that person. I never felt that way so strongly about someone, but this person was a sadist. He was a narcissist. I mean, he was just cruel. And because I stayed in that relationship longer than what I needed to, it affected me in so many different ways. My throat chakra was blocked. I couldn't make the decision to leave. And if I did walk out, I didn't stay away. I kept going back. So it affected my job. It affected my money, right? So I got fired from my job, and then I couldn't get another job. Like, it was really hard for me to get anybody to hire me. It was hard for me to get another job. I had no money. I had no money to move. I was, just making scraps from the side job that I had, but I needed a full-time job. And then on top of it, my tooth got infected. And I didn't have insurance to go see the dentist. So it was so bad and painful. And that was because I developed a block in my throat chakra. Because the throat chakra is connected to your throat. It's connected to your thyroid, your trachea, your neck, your mouth, teeth, gums, your jaw, your esophagus, parathyroid, and hypothalamus. So when you have a blocked throat chakra, and depending on the situation that you're going through, it's going to affect any one of those organs. So you could have, you know, sore throats all the time. You could have mouth ulcers, gum disease, issues with your teeth, issues with your back, laryngitis, swollen glands, thyroid problems. So many women who, so many women have autoimmune disorders. And that's because of all the bullshit that they deal with. Um, Married women have autoimmune issues more than single women do, um, because of the responsibility that they now have, not just taking care of themselves and the kids, but then also taking care of a spouse. And then having the responsibility of like having to work and then come home and clean and do laundry and take care of the kids and do homework with the kids, and don't forget the kids' sports and shopping and cooking the food and putting away the food and, you know, all that stuff. And always having to be there for everyone, and I got to do this, I got to do that, and then not having that support and sharing those responsibilities 50-50, that takes a toll on someone. And if you're constantly in that rush, always rushing around, that's going to have an effect on you. So it will affect your thyroid too. So for me, I had the issue with my teeth because I wasn't speaking up to this person. Like, so many times I wanted to curse him out, and I didn't, because I didn't want to create conflict, because I was living with the person and I didn't have anywhere else to go. And I finally had got to a point where I was just so fed up with the stuff that I was dealing with, that I would pray. I would pray. And that last time that I prayed, I was like, you know what? I need you to get me out of this situation. I don't care what happens. I will leave. I won't come back. I will keep my word that I won't come back if you safely get me out of this relationship. And I need a job. I have no money coming in. I have no money to go anywhere. I don't even know. I was at the lowest point of my life. And like, I remember it happened so quickly. Soon after I prayed, it was like I was out looking for a job, and I started applying for any kind of job. I didn't care at that point what job I had, because I just needed to get out of that relationship. But I remember I was applying for like all these jobs, and then I got hired. This lady hired me on the spot. It was like a seamstress position. It paid nothing, like $10 an hour. But I took it because I was like, I'd rather have money than not have anything. She hired me on the spot, and she asked me if I would start the next day. And I was like, yes. So the next morning, when I was getting up to get dressed, was when he decided he was going to start an argument with me before I went to work. And then he starts the argument, and then he starts throwing my clothes out of the door, out the window. And my first reaction was to defend myself, but then I heard that voice say to me, just keep going, just grab your things and keep going. And so I grabbed whatever clothes I could, threw it in my car. And yes, a tower moment. Yes, the tower moment, the rug had to be pulled from under me, because if it didn't, I don't know if I would have left. But I was at that point where I was just really fed up. And so I remember I got in my car and I called the lady to let her know I was running late, because I was going to be late. And when I called her, I was just very honest with her. I told her what was happening. And she says to me, is he cheating? And I said, you know what? He probably is. And I really don't care at this point. I'm just so done with this. I want out of this relationship. And that's why I was looking for a job. And I just don't know what to do right now. And she says to me, don't worry. She says, just come into work and I will give you an advance. I'll set you up at the hotel down the street. This way you're close to work, and we'll figure things out later, because I need help and right now you need a job. And you know what? I could hear in her voice that she was very sincere. I didn't know this lady, but I went with it, right? I went with it. Yes, a total angel. And when I got there, she closed her shop. She took me down the street and she knew the owners of this little hotel. And she said, hey, can I get like 3 nights? Watch out for her. And she got me the room for 3 nights. She definitely was this. I'm telling you this. I believe in miracles. Okay, I totally believe in miracles, and I totally believe that God put her in my way to help me, because this situation didn't even last long. It was like she was literally put on my path to help me. So she sets me up at the hotel for 3 nights. Then I started looking for something on Airbnb because I felt like it was cheaper. I could probably afford it. I didn't want to have to like be in a place where I owed her so much money. So I found a place on Airbnb, and I went when I checked out of the hotel after my 3 days was up. I go to this room that I was renting, and the guy greeted me, very nice gentleman. Hey, welcome. What brings you here? And I said, well, I was displaced out of my home, and so that's why I'm here. That's why I booked the room. I just am looking, I'm just looking for a place until I can rent something monthly that I can afford, for now, because I don't have anywhere to go. And he says, oh, I might be able to help you. I have a studio apartment that's available for rent. Let's go inside and talk. So he takes me to his office, and he's just asking me like, why was I there? Because the way he was advertising his room, he was advertising it like for people who are in financial advising and looking to get their licenses. Like, it was close to the exam center, so he assumed I was like a student. And I said, no, 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 I'm not a student. I'm just somebody who found a room. I wanted to book the room. So, and it was in a good neighborhood too. It was like in a really good neighborhood, and it was close to my job. So, so he was like, okay. So he says, would you like to see the studio apartment? If it's something you're interested in, I'm looking to rent it out. We're looking for a really good tenant, him and his wife. And, he's like, if you want it, you can stay, you can move in. And if you want to stay for a week, let me know how you like it. If you like it, then we can draw up a lease. Who does that? This man let me stay in his studio apartment for a whole week. After the week, he drew up a lease. I just had to give him $500 down deposit, and he even lowered the rent for me and gave me a key, and I moved in. This all happened within a week of my relationship, of me breaking up with this person. A week. 1 week. I had no clue where I was going to end up. I had no idea where I was going to end up. And this is where I ended up. And it turned out that he was a financial advisor. That was his business. And so he was always giving me tips on, what I could do with my money. And then the crazy thing that happened was that once I moved into this apartment, the one thing that I felt was like really important to do was to just do a clearing of the past relationship, like really disconnect, cut off all communication, heal from it, forgive it, understand why it happened to me, and then like move on. And the minute I did this like cord cutting meditation, all of these opportunities, like jobs that I had applied for, they just all came rushing through they just all came rushing through. Like, I just kept getting calls after calls after calls. And I finally was able to get a better paying job. I lasted at that place for a month, and then she had to let me go because she said she couldn't afford me anymore. She said her son had some legal issues. She had to hire an attorney, and she was like, I really can't afford you anymore. I'm so sorry. I have to let you go. So I only was there for like a month. She totally served her purpose. And then that was the end of that, right? And then it was time for me to move on. Then I ended up getting a full-time job with benefits. An easy job doing what I love doing. And then from that job, I was able to save my money and then move out and get a bigger place. And I never turned back after that. I completely cut that person out of my life. No communication. I didn't care what happened later. I didn't care to find out anything about them. I just kept moving, and I did the healing work that I needed to do for that relationship. And it took me to a better place. If I had not had faith like I was operating the previous years, then I would have been stuck, and I probably would have ended up in a worse place than I was. Instead of just taking charge, the only thing I needed to be proactive was in looking for a job. But for me to like stay, like I had been doing that. We were, on and off and constantly arguing, and I just was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I in this situation? And I really had to take a moment to pray and really have a conversation with myself about all this work that I've been doing. Where is my faith? Why don't I have faith in myself that I can do better? Why am I still here? Why am I afraid to walk away? Who cares where I end up? Just go, just leave. And that's what happened. And this all happened within a week. Within a week's time, I landed on my feet, just from moving. Yeah, it tends to get worse until the only action is to change. Exactly. And that's what happened, right? So no regrets there. I'm glad that I left. I'm glad that I walked away. I'm glad that I sort of surrendered my personal will to divine will, and my tooth got better. My tooth got better. The minute like that I left, that I walked away, my tooth got better because it was like infected. Like I had a really bad toothache. And that was because I was holding back. I wasn't making a decision. I wasn't speaking up. And I had to do something or be stuck, right? But I have faith. Yes, it definitely takes a lot of strength if you're alone. And that was my situation. I didn't have nowhere to go to. I didn't have no one to really go to and ask for help. And then I was embarrassed on top of it. I was embarrassed because I was doing so good. I had a job. I was getting a lot of recognition of the community. And he was jealous of that. He didn't like that because he couldn't heal from his past and the stuff that's happened to him. And at one point in his life, he was doing well financially, and he was like, he knew everyone in town. Everyone knew him. He knew everyone. He can get in anywhere. And his business failed, and he never recovered from that. Mentally, he never recovered from it. So instead of doing something about it, he just kind of, tucked away and didn't. But he saw me making moves, and he didn't like that. And he was very jealous, and he interfered. And he always starting arguments with me, had me very nervous. I was always on edge, not knowing what was going to happen. And I just, just high anxiety. And I already have high anxiety as it is. And I just was like, I can't live like this anymore. I can't do it. Yeah, he was taking it out on me. And I left. I had to pray about it, and I left, and I was so relieved when I left. I even had to forgive him. And I wasn't having a conversation with him. I wasn't saying, hey, I forgive you. I was just doing this on my own. But I had to do that work in order for me to really disconnect from that situation. And I did. And I recognized that he had his own wounds he hasn't dealt with. And I said, okay. And this is making me even more aware of what I need to look out for, so that I'm not going through this again. And that's where I ended up. And I've been so happy ever since. Like, just very happy. And you know, I had a long conversation with myself about the work that I need to keep doing. Just when I thought I had done enough work on myself, more work I needed to do. But I did it. I did it. And, you know, I'm proud that I listened to, that I sort of surrendered my personal will. I surrendered. And I just let divine will take over. And you always end up in a better place. And that is the journey of the throat chakra, is having that strength to make that decision, you know, having that faith to make that decision, that for you to make that decision to walk away from something that's just not working out. I had to do it recently, a few weeks ago. I was struggling with making another decision to leave a situation that was becoming very toxic and creating a lot of anxiety for me. And the minute that I recognized that, it's like, okay, I got to reflect. What is this situation trying to teach me about myself? What do I need to do right now to find peace? Like, what am I doing wrong? And I left. I just said, all right, you know, I'm walking away. I'm leaving. I'm not staying here. I'm not going to sit here and wake up every day with anxiety and, you know, worrying about what's going to happen next. You know, I kept feeling like something bad was going to happen to me. And so I walked away. And I feel better. I feel better things are going to be coming. So, you know, that's, and you know, the holidays are here. I get it, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. You have to be able to put yourself first and your needs first than anybody or anything. And, you know, just so better can come in and you can get to a place where you're not going to be worrying. It looks like the wounds have healed, and after some time, another layer comes up for us to work through. Yeah, it's a work in progress, you know, it's a work in progress. So, but it's good when you're in that place of being aware, right? When you're in that place of being aware, like, ooh, this is a trigger. I got to work on myself. What do I need to do? At least you know. At least you're there, because there's some people that they don't know that there's a lesson for them to learn. They don't want to learn. They know it's a bad situation, but they want to stick it out and stay, you know, because of money, because maybe they put so much history into it. I'm not that person. I've never been that person to stay in a situation if it's toxic. Everything that was toxic to me, whether it's a bad relationship or a bad job, I left. And I didn't wait for a backup plan. You know, I didn't wait for a backup plan to come. That's always been my situation. If I don't leave now, I'm never going to leave. And I've done that a few times. So I won't stay and put up with bullshit. I just get up and leave. Because I know something better will come along. All right, so let's see what this specific situation is about. Oh, this card fell out. This is about having balance in your life, having your material needs met in magical ways. So this is like you practicing balance, practicing faith, and just knowing that you are going to be okay. Like that, the feeling, practice the feeling. Like, I don't know if you listen to Neville Goddard, but I always listen to his lectures. And he's always saying you have to practice that feeling as if you already have it. Like it's here. Like you got it. You're living it right now in order to attract it. And I cannot tell you enough how truthful that is. If you don't practice the feeling, then it's not going to come. I have manifested the wildest things that other people are just like, what? How were you able to do that? You know? So it's pretty crazy how that happens. But let's see specifically what the throat chakra is here for, and what is it that this is talking about. Yes, because pouring into a cup, you're pouring into a cup when your cup is empty. That's what I'm getting right now. This is about taking a leap of faith. This is about taking blind faith. Blind faith, just like the fool does. The fool takes a leap of faith. And they have this childlike naivety, right? Like this childlike naivety where they are like, I'm going to go here and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Like, they don't even think about that. They're just like, okay, I'm going here. And that's it. And I see someone doing that. Like, this situation is calling for someone to have a leap of faith. Like, believe in yourself. And that's what I had to do. That's right. Everything will work out. That's right. Believing that everything will work out. And that's what this situation is calling. Believe in yourself. Listen to your heart. And do what gives you joy. Do the things that make you happy. That's what it's saying. That's how you find balance. That's how you're able to balance things out for yourself. This is like the beginning of a brand new journey. So you could be going back to something is what I'm getting. Going back to something. Maybe there was something that you were doing and then you kind of put it on hold to do something else. But I feel like you're going back. Yep. Spirit says yes. That's what it is. Yes. And this is the Sun card. So this is about success, great achievements. It's about yes, if you wanted to know the answer. These are major arcana cards. So this is about destiny, your destiny. So moving into something that you had, maybe you stopped doing, but now you're going to move into it. Now you're moving into it. New beginnings, new beginnings. Here we go. Another major arcana. So Spirit wants you to know that you're walking into a new beginning here. Okay? This is a new beginning. Final decision, new beginning. And it just looks like more happy here. Just being happy. Getting the things that you want. This is also, they're also saying, because there is a focus on the past, okay? There is a focus on the past. So this is also about forgiving and reviewing the past with compassion, but forgiving as well. And maybe this is like you've fulfilled your karma. You've already fulfilled your karma, like whatever bad karma that you had to deal with, because sometimes that happens. We do bad things, we do things and we don't even think of the consequences of them. And like I was saying, well, I have a welcome video. I don't know if it uploaded, but I did a welcome video before I came on here, just to kind of reintroduce myself to people. And I was talking about, you know, how I'm studying numerology, and I'm an 8 life path. And so when you're an 8 life path, that rules money, but it also rules your karma. And so you're prone to karma. Like karma is going to get you quick if you don't live a righteous life. But also if people mess with you, they get their karma too. And when I started reflecting on certain situations that I was in and how people that like messed with me without having a good reason, how they always got their karma, like really, really bad, always got their karma. And so I've learned to not try to seek revenge on people and just let it be, because it's going to come back to them. They will get their karma. So, I also see an emperor coming in the picture. So not sure if this is like an actual person that you're dealing with, or if this is just you wanting stability, taking charge of your life, being ambitious, wanting to be ambitious, taking a chance on yourself and just going for the things that you want to go for. But then I see you overanalyzing the situation, which kind of leaves you stuck. But just so you're aware, there's 4 major arcanas here. Sorry. There's 4 major arcanas here, which is telling me that this is your destiny and you need to follow it, and you need to work on your confidence so that you're pursuing the things that you need to pursue. Stop over analyzing and just go with what you know is what will bring you joy. There is prosperity here for you, but you need to plan. You need to have a plan, you know. I mean, the plan, if you do a plan, it's first step, second step, third step. You know, you're doing that just so you have a visual of what needs to get done next. Of course, in between, you may have to take a U-turn, but at least you have a plan. And it's okay if you go in a different direction. It's okay if you do that. You just need to have a plan. Working for my stability and maybe finding a companion. Yes, yes. I have serious self-esteem issues. Okay, yep. So that's something you reroute if necessary, exactly. Work on the confidence issues. That's really important because it's going to be really hard for you to attract the kind of relationship you want, the kind of job you want, or even pursue your whatever it is that you want to pursue. If it's self-employment, you know, a different career, it's going to be hard for you to pursue that if you don't work on your confidence. So but this you know, the throat chakra right here, very important to focus on. Let's see if there's another chakra that you need to work on along with the throat chakra. There's always more than one. It's never just one. It's usually a couple of them. Yes, you have to convince yourself that you're worthy of it, totally, and not feel guilty by that. And Spirit says visualize success. You also need to visualize success. Remember, assume the feeling, right? Assume the feeling. So you have to visualize success. If this is something you're going back to, whatever it is that you were going back to, you were successful at it, and you actually were like building a really good momentum for it, but then something disrupted, and then it made you feel insignificant, insecure, lacking confidence, and that's what happened. There was something that happened there, but you were doing very well with whatever this thing is from the past that's coming up, that you were focused on, because you were focusing on visualizing success for that thing too. So let's see. What other chakra do we need to focus on? Looking for which chakra do we need to focus on? Ear chakra. Emotional sensitivity. Focus on eating vegetarian, vegan food just to elevate your frequency more. Singing and dancing is going to help to heart chakra. Here we go. Heart chakra. This is the other one. So, and it's interesting because I'm also getting emotional sensitivity. So sometimes when I see this card, it's telling me that you're not allowing yourself to be emotional. You're not. You're holding your emotions in. Maybe there's a lot of stress around your situation. Maybe you feel like if you don't express yourself, that people will think you're weak. You know, sometimes people don't like being emotional because they don't want to appear weak, but that's not the case here. Maybe you need to have a good cry. You got to focus on the heart chakra. The heart chakra is your center for your power, emotional power, okay? How you process your emotions. Are you doing it in a healthy way or are you doing it in a negative way? Do you have extreme bouts of hate, right? Jealousy, anger, resentment, or are you able to forgive and move on? Are you able to forgive and move on? So forgiveness is key with the heart chakra, right? So makes sense if that's coming up. And then also me seeing emotional sensitivity also makes sense that, oh, you've been crying a lot. Okay. Okay, your heart chakra is always blocked. Very sensitive, probably highly sensitive person. Yes. Well, you are, because I'm getting you are highly clairvoyant, profoundly clairvoyant. So that could be you as well. You see things, you hear things, you feel things. And sometimes it can make you very empathic and empathetic to people. You know, and to like, you can feel when someone's going through a hard time, right? You feel everything. You walk into a room and you feel, you know, someone's in your presence, you feel if they're in a bad mood or if something happened to them. Yeah, you're very sensitive to that. So the heart chakra, definitely need to work on the heart chakra. And just to process emotions, you know, process your emotions, but then understand it and then move on from it. Don't, you know, like, no, is there a limit on healing? No, there's no limit. But if, you know, you want to heal right away, then I would say take some time to assess the situation, really understand it, understand why you're being so emotional so that you can move past it. Are you like at that phase? Are you dealing with hormonal imbalances? Because that could be it too. You know, for us women, when we reach a certain age after 40, we have to be mindful of our hormones. Because I'm getting rest. I'm getting the need to rest here. There's a need to rest. You said you quit a job and you probably needed to quit that job. Yeah, somatic exercises are really great too. Do those, they're very gentle, but also I personally like, me too. I was dealing with burnout myself, so I totally get it. Somatic exercises are great. Also, if you go for a walk in nature, love doing that. Going for a walk in nature is one of my favorite things to do, especially near a body of water, because I always get that instant relief. If I go out and walk, it really does make me feel good. So, yeah. So, but I am getting rest, okay? So, that's perfect then. Maybe do that. Take this time out to do some, you know, the self-care stuff that you need to do for yourself. But definitely rest is what I'm getting. The need to rest. Seems like there was a lot of jealous people around you. A lot of people that were jealous. So, yeah, because I see like a couple people coming at you is what I'm getting. Could be a couple people that were coming at you. Maybe with jealousy or, you know, just didn't like you. But that ended, right? In order for you to have a new beginning, needed to end. Yeah, family could be the worst, right? And now, you know, releasing the past, getting, like, letting go of the past, just letting go of the past so that you're able to have a new beginning. And in the workplace, yep, I was getting the workplace. That's where what I was getting. Yeah. And now is the time for you to pause and reflect on everything. Maybe journal about what's happening, you know. Some of the things that you can journal, particularly for, let's say, let's start with the throat chakra, right? Some things that you can journal are like, what's your definition of being a strong-willed person? Does that mean putting up with bullshit? Does that make you a strong person? Or is it someone who can say, you know what, I'm not dealing with this bullshit, I'm walking away, right? What's your definition? So first, you need to understand what is your definition of being a strong-willed person, because sometimes people think that, you know, I've seen women that they think that, well, I gotta hang in there. I gotta stay in this relationship and I gotta hang in there. Because that's what you do, you know. But then their husbands are like abusive physically, maybe verbally, maybe they're cheating, doing just really awful things, and they still stay. And it's like, no, that's not a good definition of being strong-willed. I don't think so. So you can journal that. You can journal that question. What is your definition of being strong-willed? And start there. And then with the heart chakra, what emotional memories do you still need to heal from? What emotional memories do you still need to heal from? You can journal that. Is it your parents? You still need to heal from your parents? Do you need to heal from an ex? Do you need to heal from like a situation with your siblings? Like, which one is it? Yeah, childhood stuff, right? It's always, that's the root of it. The root of it, right? Because the root chakra, which is connected to the power of family, you know, this is where you learn your foundation for social and emotional health. And so however you saw your parents process emotions, you're going to mimic that same behavior. So that's important to know. You're going to mimic that same behavior. So you want to work on that. Work on that stuff. Work on the childhood stuff. And understand that. And yeah, you know, family is where we learn how to deal with life, right? So if you grew up in a dysfunctional family, you know, did they yell a lot? Did they resort to drinking as a way to solve things? Were they bad communicators? Because 9 times out of 10, you're probably practicing those same behaviors. So, right, and then surviving, right, needing to survive. It throws you in survival mode, right, when you can't rely on family. So that's when you go into survival mode. So, yeah. Okay, so that is your collective reading for today. That's all I have for you. I have a group on my TikTok that I'm working with. If you want to go over to my TikTok and follow me and subscribe, right now I'm doing a series on healing the root chakra, and we are talking about childhood trauma and how that affects us as adults, how it affects our work relationships, our personal romantic relationships, our friendships, how it affects our friendships, what we learn from our parents, and then what we can do to heal. So right now I'm in that series, and we're doing that. So if you want access to that, you can either catch it on my TikTok or you can catch it on my Patreon. But also, if I'm available for private sessions, so if you're interested in that, also reach out to me, let me know. I'd be more than willing to schedule a session with you. But these are the things we talk about. And then also, in particularly for women, you know, depending on how our childhood trauma, you know, childhood was like, whatever trauma we experience, you may be stuck in your masculine energy. And then could be the reason why you feel that people don't extend to you what you extend to them, right? Like, you might find that you have a pattern of attracting feminine males. So in relationships, you're the provider. You're the one providing safety, security. You're the one paying the bills. You're the one working multiple jobs, right? That's a sign that you're stuck in your masculine energy, because you're the ones trying to take care of everyone. You're taking care of the kids and him, right? And he's not doing anything. Maybe he's not working. Maybe he stays home all day playing video games. You know, maybe he's giving you the excuse, oh, I'm depressed. You know, I can't work right now. Or maybe he's immature and just getting fired from his jobs, right? And it's putting a burden on you. So that happens to women. We could be stuck in our masculine energy, and then it affects our personal relationships. It affects our work, because then if you have a bad relationship with money, you might be working multiple jobs, or you're in debt, or you're working multiple jobs, or you're working masculine jobs. Because number one, you're stuck in your masculine energy. Number two, masculine jobs pay more, right? So you might decide to do construction, or maybe you're a blue collar worker, you're law enforcement, or you're a firefighter, or, you know, a medic or something, you know, where that pays more, but that's male dominated. So you might find yourself in that situation. And then you don't fit in that situation, right? Because you really yearn for your feminine side to come out, and it's just not working. So yeah, so that's some of the things that we talk about. But that's all I have for you right now. And so if you haven't followed me, follow me. And maybe I'll bring that series here on YouTube. What else? Yeah, you can follow. Don't forget to share my channel so other people get access to it as well. And I'll catch you at the next live. And also, like I said, if you're interested in a personal, just reach out to me. All my information is in the description box. You can always reach out to me, and we'll schedule a time. All right, guys, I will catch you at the next live. Thank you. Thanks so much for being here.